Okay, so remember, we have a test tomorrow, and the main things on the test are 1, vertical shift and vertical compress or stretch. 2 is using y equals mx plus b and finding slope and y-intercept. And 3 is using the point slope form, plugging in 3 things here and finding things from that. So, looking here, it says compare the graphs of the linear functions y equals 5x plus 4, that's why I put it in my calculator, and y equals 5 parentheses x plus 2 minus 4. Make sure you use a subtraction sign for, not a negative. If you put a negative, you're not going to get it right. That needs to be the full subtract 4. Which of the following is true? Do the lines have the same y-intercept? Press graph and look at it. That means, do they cross in the same exact place on the y? No, they are different. So this one is not A. The lines are equally steep. Equally steep means like the hill is the same steepness. Equally steep also means same slope. So let's circle the slope. In y equals mx plus b, remember the slope is the m. In y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. Once again, the slope is the m. Do they have the same slope? Yes, they do. So the answer should be B, but let me tell you why it's not C. It says the lines intersect at 0, negative 4. Do either of these lines even touch right here at 0, negative 4? No, so we know that definitely can't be our answer. And the lines have the same x-intercept. Look at the x. There's 2 different touches on the x-axis, so it can't be D either. So please make sure you circle your answer. Now number 15. Which equation describes the line passing through these 2 points? This one you need to use, well, you can use stat edit. If you don't like using stat edit, you can definitely set up a table and you'll be able to eliminate some wrong answer choices by doing delta y over delta x first. However, let's go through the steps for stat edit. Press stat, press enter on edit, put in -6, -5, then 2, and 5. I know you don't have a calculator at home, but make sure you understand the steps of stat edit because it can help you. When you're given 2 points, it will give you the information for equation. So press stat, go over to calc, press number 4, the linear regression. Remember, it gives you the A and the B. The A is the slope, which is 1.25, and the B is 2.5. Make sure you look and see, is the B a positive or did they put a little negative sign there? This is definitely a positive B. If your B is positive, that means, no, that can't be and that can't be because the B has to be a plus. The only thing is, look at the slope. They did not use decimals. So remember, you need to change your decimal back to a fraction. So put in 1.25 and remember the 3 steps. 3 steps. Math. Press math, press enter, enter, and it will change it back. The 5 is on top, the 4 is on bottom. Remember, it doesn't matter bigger or smaller. 5 on top, 4 on bottom. Which one of these has a 5 on top and a 4 on bottom? Is it 5 on top, 4 on bottom? The answer should be D for that one. Please circle your answer. Number 16. Which graph best represents a line with a y-intercept of 6 and a slope of -3/4? Remember, if the slope is negative, that means it needs to be moving down like that. Is this one moving? This is actually a positive type slope, so it can't be that one. This one's negative, good. This one's negative, good. But this one is actually a positive type slope. So these 2 will not be the answer. We got to figure out which one of these is our answer. So we know the y-intercept is 6. That means it needs to touch the y at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does it touch here? No. This one, does it touch here? Yes. B should be the answer. Moving on. This one right here. This one could be another calculator problem, definitely. There's 2 ways to do it. You can use your calculator, y equals. However, remember, you cannot put this exactly in the y equals. You have to rearrange it a little by taking this minus 1 and moving it over as a plus 1. So that would be negative 5 over 2, parentheses, x plus 8. Then remember, we're moving this to the other side and putting plus 1 on it. If you put this in your calculator and press second graph, look in the table for one of these points. One of these points should be in that table somewhere. Let me show you. All right, so I'm pressing alpha y equals, so I can put in my negative 5 and 2. X, don't forget parentheses, x plus 8, then plus 1. Press second graph. Which one of these points is in the table? I'm going to let you look at it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you look at it. Negative 5, comma 2. 2, comma negative 5. Is that what it says there? 2, comma negative 5. We're looking for negative 8, 1. Or is it D? 8, comma negative 1. You tell me. If you need to see that again, just rewind it. Watch it again. Another way you can look at it is remember the formula. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Remember, this right here, that's my y, that's my x. But remember, it's opposite. So the y has to have a 1, and the x has to have a 8. However, it's opposite. If this says minus 1, then what does that need to be? Should it stay minus, or should it change to positive? Same thing here. This says plus 8. Should it stay positive, or should it be negative? Figure out what signs need to go with it, and that will just confirm your answer for 17. All right, number 18. Given the function y equals 3x, which function represents a translation to the right 6 units? Remember, if we're moving something to the right, use the calculator to help you. However, I'm going to break it down for you a little bit. We know that the slope is 3x, and we're moving something to the right. 3x plus 6, this is going to shift it up 6. Do we need it shifting up 6? No. This right here is going to shift it down 6. Do we need it to shift down 6 units? No. This one in here, this is going to shift it to the right 6 units. This one shifts it to the left 6 units. Remember, we don't really care about the slopes because we're shifting it right or left. We care about what's going on here. And you can also use your calculator for that one. Number 19, how are the graphs of the functions y1 and y2 related? They're saying that y2 equals the graph of y1 minus 3. Please remember, when you are adding or subtracting something, you have changed the y-intercept. If you were multiplying something, you've changed the slope. So what did they put on y1? They just put, take away 3. That means we're dealing with changing the y-intercept. So did that y2 get shifted 3 units to the left or to the right? No, remember left or right? That would have to do with if something was in parentheses. However, it either got shifted 3 units up or 3 units down. Remember what the takeaway 3 means. Minus 3 means we are moving it down 3 units. Excuse me. Number 20, the table represents some points on the graph of a linear function. Which equation represents the same relationship? We did one like this yesterday in class. So the first, look at the slopes. These two are the same and these two are the same. I would maybe first go through and find the slope. Maybe. If you're not good with finding the slope this way, I would just use stat edit. Maybe stat edit. Stat edit can help you find the slope. If you put all of these points in the stat edit, it can help you see the slope. I'm going to calculate it delta y over delta x. So negative 100 to 80, that's adding 20. From 0 to 10, we added 10. So the slope is definitely 20 over 10. which equals 2. So the slope has to be 2, so it can't be A or B. The only thing is I'm going to check these points right here. This is saying, since it says positive 80, that means the y should be a negative 80. And since this says plus 10, that means my x should be a negative 10. Is this point in the table? Is negative 10 comma 80 in the table? No, that says 10 comma 80. So let's check this one. This y is saying minus 40. If it says minus 40, that means, I'm sorry, minus 140, it should be a 140 in the y spot because it's opposite than subtracting 40 really means a positive 40. This one right here says minus 20, which means the 20 needs to be a positive 20. But that table does not show that, so that must be another mistake on the worksheet unless I'm totally tripping. I don't think I'm tripping because this is 100. How did 100 get to 80? I added 20. My 2's on top. My 10's on the bottom. 20's on top, 10's on the bottom. 20 divided by 10 is 2, so the slope has to be a 2. I think there might just be another error on the worksheet. So I think the answer, it was supposed to be one of these. This 80 is the opposite, so negative 80, opposite. Opposite of 20, negative 20 is 20. Opposite of that one. Yeah, there's an error on this one. Yep, there's another error on the worksheet. So don't worry about that one, but I do hope that you understood how I was explaining it. There's just not a correct answer. If there was a correct answer, if C was correct, it should have been y plus 80 equals 2x minus 10 if C was correct. If D was correct, then it would have been y plus 140 equals 2x plus 20. Yeah. But neither one of them is correct, but I hope you understand about the opposite thing, but the slope should definitely be 2. Sorry about that. Let's move on. For a function with an x-intercept of negative 4 and a slope of a half, what is the y-intercept? Remember, we talked about one of these in class. This equation, some people think, oh, write that equation. No, it said it's an x-intercept of negative 4, so you can't do that. That means you need to plot the x-intercept of negative 4. That's my x-intercept, negative 4. Then my slope tells me to go, the slope is 1 over 2. I go up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2, make a point. Up 1 to the right 2, make a point. Up 1 to the right 2, make a point. Now you should be able to see the y-intercept. They're asking you, what is the y-intercept? It touches at the 6? No. At the negative 6? No. At the negative 2? No. At the positive 2. Number 22, label the parts of slope-intercept form. The M is the, oh, you know that one. You write it. The B is the, you write that. Please write that down. Thank you very much. And remember, one thing about the other side is, on this problem right here, it's going to ask for a rate of descent. That means find the slope. Good luck for tomorrow.